Christine here with another cute, quick, and simple card I made using my Cricut. Today, to make this very simple banner thank you card, I used my Art Philosophy Cricut cartridge. So, let's get started. You know, you can use black as a chalkboard, and in this particular case, this is what I did. So I just took some black cardstock, an 8.5 by 11, and I cut it at 5.5 inches and folded it in half to get a standard A2 size card. From there, I decided to doodle all around the perimeter using a white gel pen, which I'm going to finish right now. Normally I do it freehand, but in this particular case I took a straight edge and I decided to make sure it was a little more straight this time. So I just took an edge of a paper and I added stitching or dashes all the way around the card. My pen just kind of balled up there. Okay, and just like so, and you do all four sides, and you get a nice even spacing. Okay, so from there, I went to my Art Philosophy, and I love this Cricut cartridge. It gives me so many shapes, and gives me a lot of inspiration. So I started out on page 26. So I started out with this shape to give me the thank you that I stamped, and I ended up using some paper, by the way, from, it's Paper Pack Fine and Dandy. It's by My Mind's Eye, and 6x6 designer pack. So all of that comes from there. I just took some random colors, and in the thank you shape I ended up just using a white, and it's got little squares on it. It's very cute. So this is the shape, and I cut this out at 1 inch. I also use the heart. So this is the image that I'm using with the heart. The heart is cut out at 1.5 inches, and then I added some gems and a little pretty bow, and the heart is actually going to go right around here. From there, basically I went to page 29 and I used this banner, and at 1 3/4 inch I cut out this banner piece, and I added some gems to it, and it's going to go on there as well. From there I went to page 39, and again at 1 3/4 inch I cut out this pretty piece of paper, and I used the heart from the other page, and I cut that heart out at 1 inch, and I added it on top, and then I added some pretty gems. Then I went to page, getting there, to page 59, and I cut out this pretty banner again at 1 3/4 inches, and I just added some gems to that. And then the last image is the very last banner right here on page 68, 1 3/4 inches also, and I added some gems. I raised all of these images on pop dots, and then I'm just going to put it together. Now, I have to tell you before I go forward, if the images don't fit, my Cricut dial on my expression seems to be malfunctioning, and every time I turn the dial it may go up or down. This is the first time I've ever had that happen. So I have to tell you, these images, I keep saying 1 3/4 inches, there is very high possibility that to get them to line up they are 1.5 inches. So I do apologize. I'm gonna have to get my Cricut expression fixed, or I'm gonna have to start using my Imagine. which I'm not too happy about. I love my Imagine, but it's very big and bulky and takes more time to cut out images. But anyways, I do have a small Cricut, the one that takes 6-inch mats. A friend of mine borrows it, and I might have to take it back. Anyways, hopefully I'll be able to fix my Imagine. So I'm going to keep going. So I'm going to start with putting my thank you. By the way, I stamped my thank you with some clear stamps. This comes from the Paper Studio. I got this on sale when I was at Hobby Lobby the last time I got to go to one. It has all these amazing sayings. So I just used thank you and the exclamation point, and I'm just going to take the backing off all of this, and I'm going to put it in the bottom left corner, just like so. Okay, so to get the little banner, now I didn't use a string. I could have used a piece of ribbon, but I decided not to. And then you could also put little bows between, or you could have punched some holes and threaded the banner through, but in this case I didn't. So to start my banner off, I put the 2 pieces so it just lines this corner and right here lines up, so it's still in between the inside of the doodling. And I'm going to take this piece right here, which is my last piece, and I am going to line it up, sticky fingers, right about here. So I'm still showing the banner, the doodling, but I need to keep it right on the edge. Okay, and then I'm just going to fill in using the 3 extra pieces I have. So I'm going to start with the heart, and I'm going to put that down just like so on a tiny little bit of an angle. Okay, and then I have this banner piece. Actually, I'm going to put this one first. Doesn't really matter if they're touching or on top of each other, as long as it ends up looking like it's cute, you know? Because I have a feeling I didn't have enough room for... you know what, I'm going to tuck this one right underneath here, just like so. And then I'm going to put this one right on top. Okay, so I might have to move my heart and my other little piece over a bit, but I'm just going to tuck that in just like so, and I'm going to have to end up moving my heart. Sometimes, for a very simple card, I can make some errors. Okay. There we go. Put this back. Alright. You know what? I'm going to recommend that you place your images down. That's not too bad. Which is what I did on the first one. I actually ended up putting my images down so I knew where they lined up. Anyways, I'm going to leave that one just like that. This one's cuter, I have to show it to you, but they lined up really, really well. Anyways, I recommend doing that first, but it's okay. And then I thought this was a little bit plain, so I took some Whisper White ink, and in that same pack of stamps, I have a little tiny heart, and I'm just going to randomly put the heart in the empty spaces, just like so. Maybe right about here, and one down in the corner. I'm gonna flip the card around. Yeah, no, not yet. Okay, anyways, you get the idea. You just keep putting the hearts, and you have to be careful because this ink is like a craft ink and it takes quite a while to dry. So if you're not careful, you can smudge it. And maybe one right here. There we go. And then I'm just going to keep putting a few at the top. You can use any images you want to do this pattern. You can also put the pattern of the little hearts before or after so that you make pretty designer paper. Anyways, I just wanted it right about like this. I just wanted it in the empty spaces, and maybe one right up on the top. Okay, because this is a black card, I decided to put a liner, so some of the extra paper that I had left over, I'm just using to line the inside of the card. So this particular sheet is 4 inches by 5 1/4. And I'm just putting that roughly in the center. I just found an extra green piece, so it's 4 inches by 1 inch long. I'm going to put that down. I had decided to cut the blue heart in blue. I'm going to add that down. And then I cut out the same image as the thank you, and I'm just going to adhere that down. So it gives you a little bit of writing space. Now, the colors I chose are pastel, so you can write all over this anyways. And then I'm just going to add the heart, maybe right about here. So it added a little something something to the card, and it matches all the colors I used. So very quick, very simple card, and instead of using black doodling, I like the fact that I got to use the black like a chalkboard and got to do the white doodling. So there's my very quick and simple card, and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you. Bye.